Greetings, Padawans, and welcome to the Archives. Here to unlock this holocron is the man of the hour, Jedi Master Sotiko.
Also got to talk locations, you know, because if I'm getting stabbed right here, I'm wearing that shit, you know, I'm wearing it. But if I'm getting stabbed down the middle, through the spine, and Darth Maul, he was holding that thing in there for some time too, you know.
Yeah, it's Jover.
He was holding that bad boy in there.
End of season 2, they're like, okay, you have to go to the mines and take a bath, and you know this is your quest for the future.
Bring me back some bath water.
Yeah.
Some Bo-Katan bath water. Judah would be all over that.
And welcome. Wait, why is it just you and me on the screen? Oh shit, my bad.
And welcome everybody. Season 3, episode 1 of the Archives podcast. So Tebow back on the block, and we also have returning to the show. He puts the Vice in Viceroy. He is the red hat enthusiast. He is Van Seal.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
And also joining us, making his comeback, like the Undertaker himself. The greatest amateur chef in Alaska. We have the Juder, and of course ain't nobody cuter than the Juder. I am your host, Sotika.
Just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Thrawn's back, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The Empire's back, baby.
So
Fuck
the boys are back in town.
Yeah. I bet there's so many like pro Empire red hat wearers. They're like, hell yeah, brother! Empire's back.
Empire Day, I love it.
Yeah. Bosha wee wee. Welcome on back to the. We're actually just recording.
Oh, okay, cool.
But what I'm streaming for you is my camera, because I can't share OBS because it's just a colossal.
Okay, well, it says the stream's paused. It says it's paused, so I can't see anything.
Hold up. Boom.
Yeah, because you tapped out. Boom. Huge.
You see me? Cool.
Yeah.
I kind of need you to. Oop. I kind of need you to see me for this part right here. So you probably can't see this. Let me turn my blur off real quick. I'm so edgy. So what this is, I mean, you could probably see on the right, Western Dune Sea.
Some map of Tatooine.
Correct. We'll get a little closer. So you really can't see it because of the freaking glare. There we go. So in my book, The Shattered Apprentice, coming soon, still writing the first draft. The only thing I've added to the entire universe of Star Wars, the only thing I've added is Mos Eisley, right? It's a nice, like, people were tired of the big cities. They went out, they made their own city. It's kind of like Austin, circa 1932, when the workers in the big cities, Dallas, Fort Worth, were tired of it, and they went and made their own city. That's what Mos Eisley is. It's comprised mainly of immigrants. It's comprised mainly of just chill townsfolk, right? In my book, my character's the main character's father works in Mos Espa. He has a cantina there, and rudely and ignorantly and just wrongly, I attributed a 15-minute commute, right? Because it takes about 15 minutes to get to work. But we're Star Wars fans. So we do the math of how long it actually takes them to get to their fake work in the fake planet, in the fake commute. So I found this map. It's got a key, and I did the measurements. So in a speeder going 250 kilometers per hour, they're traveling 48 kilometers, which takes them roughly 12 minutes. Now, when Nathan drives himself to school on his speeder bike, he's got a 74Z speeder bike, but it's got some modifications. It's got afterburners. So traditionally it's 500 kilometers per hour. His can accelerate up to 560 kilometers per hour, thus taking his trip to about 5-ish minutes, but I rounded up, called it 6. Now that's the short way, because I figured when you're going to work or you're going to school or you're going to somewhere, you're always going to take whatever's the shortest and easiest route, right? But coming back, you might take the scenic route. And that's what this long squiggly line is. That's the scenic route home. That's going through the Mospic High Range, going through the northern Junlin Wastes, through the Zelric Draw, or around the Zelric Draw, as opposed to through the Zelric Draw. My whole point is, in Star Wars there are no shortcuts. There are no, it only took them about 15 minutes. You do the math, because we have all that pre-established lore. And I know I came to you about 2-3 weeks ago talking about the RZ A-Wing. And since diving into the RZ A-Wing, it's probably one of my favorite ships, because it is kind of like your favorite pilot's favorite ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you are the, you know, if this was Pawn Stars and someone brought me a ship and I was Rick Harrison, I'd be like, I got a buddy, I'll give him a call. You're that buddy about ships. So in today's episode of the Archives podcast, we are talking all about ships, why we love them, what ones we love, and just the joy of them. So to kick things off, Mr. Bolter, we're going to do an F1, marry one, kill one, but with ships.
Okay.
So instead of effing, you're going to fly it. So fly one, fly one, buy one, sell one, essentially.
Shoot it down.
Right. So
Blow it up.
we talked before we started recording about the YT series. So we'll start out with the YT series and the ship that's on your back, the YT 1300 stock. Stock. The YT 2400, and we will go with the YT 1600.
Okay, I'm going to quickly relook up the 1600 because that one is escaping my memory.
Or sorry, it's the YT. Yeah, I messed that up. It's the YT 1200, I think. The YT 1200?
I'm getting way more pictures that look like the same thing here.
Which one was it? Screw it then. We'll just go with the tried and true, trusty. Have you seen Andor yet?
Yeah, I have. We're going to say Fonder Hallcraft?
No, I'm going to say the TIE Avenger.
Oh, okay.
That's
so 2 freighters and a prototype TIE fighter?
Yep. The Fondor Hallcraft we can talk about later on, because I'd love to talk about the Fondor Hallcraft. But
me personally, I'll be just throwing the VCX 100 in there with that group. But
that's an OP ship.
No, it is an OP ship. Okay. When you're giving me 2 freighters and a fighter,
I feel like you have to fly the fighter.
Is you fly the fighter and you buy one of the freighters, and so it's really just a matter of which one would I rather own, and which one would I rather see blown to smithereens. I think for just they're both YT series. They're both heavily modifiable, designed to be that way as well. I think just for like the iconic factor, I'd go with 1300 to own it. But
Okay.
absolutely all day fly a TIE Avenger and then sell the 2400.
Okay. The model I was thinking about was I got the number completely wrong. It was the 1760. It was the 1760, the YT 1760. There's a named variation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a
That's-
named
that's
variation
pretty
that
cool.
comes from the Tales from Vader's Castle. That's where I saw it for the first time.
This is pretty sick.
Yeah, it is pretty sick.
If you replace the TIE Avenger with that, I think I'd go with fly the 1760 and then still own the 1300 and
Okay,
get rid
so-
of the 2400.
Modular, just like most YTs, which is something that I really appreciate about anything ship wise, anything computer wise. If it's modular, I think just it does such a nice job for you, because if something fails, swap it out for whatever's better. If there's an upgrade,
Yeah.
swap it out for whatever's better. And when I was doing my massive dive into researching of ships, of just the underneath the hood of the things, of course, what's the one thing that separates Star Wars from most things? Hyperspace and hyperdrives. And I have pretty elementary knowledge about all this stuff, but learning that most ships come with either like a class 3 or a class 2, a class 1 if you're crazy, but the Millennium Falcon had a class 0.5 hyperdrive. Do you think that, like, on Earth we could even handle such G-force like that? Like, if we send fighter jets, and I've seen I'm sure you've seen these too, of like the speed comps of like the flybys and stuff. Dog,
Yeah.
Can you imagine just the because the one reason why we don't have flying cars is because of how loud it would be. Can you imagine how loud it would be if someone in, like, even for you, not to dox you, but like throw someone in the middle of the state, you would probably hear that if they jumped to hyperspace in the atmosphere above you. Can you imagine living in a world like that?
I can't personally. However, you go back 20 years, we did live in that world, because ultimately at the end of the day, if it's just breaking the sound barrier or entering hyperspace, you're gonna get a sonic boom. Maybe if that's a concern, then where they are technologically, maybe they're ahead of us in that respect, and they've been able to invent something that can silence that, or they have something that can dampen that. We're currently actively working on technology. I believe it's the Lockheed Martin X-59 that's designed to make a sonic thud, is what they're calling it, where it can do, where instead of sounding like the typical sonic boom, which is extremely loud, it sounds more like someone slamming a car door shut while you're inside your house, is really what it sounds like. It's still maybe about 80, maybe like 110 decibels, right? But it's on the lower end of that, ear damaging spectrum potentially. And so I think really realistically, and then of course, it's been discussed within universe, like talk about inertial dampeners, right? G-forces aren't really a concern for them because they understand that's gonna be a problem. In atmosphere, it's a different thing, but that's why probably they generally say, hey, let's not try to jump to light speed in atmosphere, because you do have that inertia that you're fighting against the air and gravity.
That's solid. I think it would be just annoying because of just how often people would use it. For what reason? No
That's
clue.
why we banned it.
Right. Good.
That's why supersonic travel got banned.
Good. I was sick of. I'm sick of flyovers, anyways. Unless you're at a baseball game, unless you're at opening day, flyovers are fine. But like, Man, I stayed at a very cheap hotel in New Orleans, and it's because it was right next to the airport. And we're talking like every 10 minutes, something's coming over you, rattling everything. I can only imagine what those poor folks on Corellia go through. You know, down in the pits, where all that metal, all that clanging and stuff is just constantly reverberating and echoing.
Yeah.
So, to get more on track with Star Wars, because you're obviously a big fan of the aerials of things as much as you are everything else. For you, have you ever established in your inner Evan lore what your favorite ship is personally?
Favorite ship. I mean, there's all the iconic ones, and then you just kind of got to get down to like the nitty gritty of like what I want to fly, right? And I mean, just for reference, just so we understand the level of just why I like how into this stuff I am. For those of you who are aware, those of you guys who know Fantasy Flight Games, they had Star Wars X-Wing miniatures, Fire miniatures game for years.
Mm-hmm.
This is a I think it was Scum and Villainy bomber, Scourge H6. But I mean, I have a multitude of ships. I mean, here we've got a Red Defender and a bomber. I've got TIE Punishers. I've got TIE Phantoms. I've got E-Wings. I've got everything, right? And through all of those, I think some of the coolest ships that I've seen, and one of the ones that I think really has always been like, this is a super cool, just different ship, has always been the TIE Defender. It is because it was such a diversion from everything else that Sinar was making.
Yeah.
At least trying to mass produce, right? Everything else was meant to be cheap, just swarm fighters. Because even their more elite fighters, right? You can look at the TIE Interceptor. I don't think it had shields by default. It was designed for their more advanced pilots, but they didn't protect them anymore. Their added protection
that was
their skill and the fact that it was a better fighter.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they were expensive. But the TIE Defender, which, you know, it's often said, you know, it's often theorized, you know,
shielding,
when people talk about it.
No shields.
Shielding, exactly. Whereas we know from having watched Rebels and, you know, reading about the Defender that it had very good shields, right? It had excellent shields.
Massive shields.
And, you know, it's often discussed, right? I can't remember if this was discussed actually in universe in the books or if it's just something that, you know, all of the theory crafters have said, but it's that, you know, had the Emperor stuck with Thrawn's Defender program
as opposed to the Death Star,
the Empire could have had absolute control.
Yep.
Because you protect something with 2-3 defenders, ain't the only way you're beating 2 or 3 defenders with actually good pilots is you throw like 15 like fighters at the problem. Is you throw like 15 X-Wings at the problem. That's the only way. If you're like talking average pilots, right? Your average Rebel pilot versus one actual TIE Defender pilot, it's not even be close.
Right.
1v2.
You also have to remember, like, TIE Defender pilots were assorted from the pool of top of the naval classes, went into the pool to be selected then, and they then only selected the top of those to become interceptor pilots, and then they only selected the top of those to fly the Defenders.
Yeah, no, it's honestly in a way a lot like real life combat flying.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people who want to do it versus the number of people who actually get to do it are so far removed. And so it's like it could have worked. Now maybe that's just the fact that I love Grand Admiral Thrawn and me just like just swooning over him, whatever, you know, just be like, oh, Thrawn's a genius. But I also think that also does make a lot more sense than spending literal trillions of credits trying to build this thing.
Yep.
And trying to keep it secret and spending a lot of money trying to keep it secret, and like the development's like, this was a stupid idea. This is a stupid economical move.
Right. And You know, just like it, of course hindsight's 2020, but I love the hindsighters in universe reading like Heir to the Empire, reading the Thrawn trilogy, and he's like, Endor would not have happened if Thrawn had been at the helm. If Thrawn was given a superstar destroyer. If Thrawn was given the Executor, which I like to call, I know it's the Executor, but Executor sounds sick. And if they just went forward with the TIE Defenders, man, like, it's crazy to think. It is crazy to think. And I think that is, the TIE Defender is the cream of the crop ship, I want to say.
Is it crazy to say that in that context that the Battle of Lothal is actually the true inciting incident to the rebellion winning that war?
Not at all. Shout out Kanan Jarrus, rest in peace.
Shout out Kanan, shout out Ezra, shout out the entire Phoenix team, all the help. Shout out the Purgil for showing us how to get to hyperspace, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, man, like, that's the cool thing that I love about the story of the rebellion, is because everything has to happen, everything has to click into place, but it is just such a convoluted Rubik's Cube, multi-sided, multi-dimensional Rubik's Cube, and it has to work perfectly every time, and you see when it doesn't. And that's the dopeness about the story of the rebellion. When I was writing my book, and I still am writing my book, but when I was writing this part about my character, in Star Wars, every iconic character has their ship. Everyone. Kenobi's got his Delta 7. Anakin's got his ETA. Padme's got her yacht. Freaking Yoda has his own ETA. Ahsoka's got an ETA. Revan's associated with the Ebon Hawk. Luke's got his T-65 X-Wing. Han's got the Falcon. Dash has the Outrider. Poe has his modified T-70. Every iconic character has an iconic ship. So when I was sitting and just thinking about my character, initially, of course, my mind went to X-Wing, you know, because what would the New Republic basically hand me down to the new Jedi Order? So my thought went to X-Wing, you know, Y-Wings. But the kid's special, and he does have, throughout the book, you do learn that he has these reflex abilities, and for that reason I wanted to go with the A-Wing. I knew nothing about the A-Wing at all. I was just in love with the fact that it was completely unique to him. No one else had really flown an A-Wing that's an iconic character, and I wanted him to stand out. I wanted him to be his own person, because too often there's just too much similarities with characters, and he's already from Tatooine. That's pretty much as much as I want to have him to have to do with anyone else. And the reason why he's on Tatooine is not just for the sake of, oh, it's Star Wars, it's on Tatooine. It's a story element. It's there for a reason, to tell the story of the character. And when I was reading through the A-Wing, and I think you were there because I think you gave me the recommendation for it too. Initially, my thought was, oh, this is a sick ship. Like, it's for the best pilots in the rebellion. It's got great great stuff under the hood, like cream of the crop Fabritech gear, and it comes with a class 1.0 hyperdrive stock. So already it's a pretty fast MFer. It's a pretty fast MFer. And then I looked a little further into the A-Wings and I found the variations. And I found the RZ-1T A-Wing, which has everything the same, except it hollowed out the... Or not hollowed out, but it compartmentalized the deflector shield generator and the sublight engines. It just made it more space efficient to add an extra seat to it. So there's 2 seats, which works perfect for my story. And that ship I've just fallen in love with, man, because you really only see it used really one time on screen, and it's in the sequel trilogy. And it's with, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it is kicking my own ass. Think like her name's like not Tala something, but
it's like Tally Lynch or something like that.
Yeah, Tally. And the beautiful thing about her A-Wing is it's like pound for pound the Ralph McQuarrie Blue Squadron concept art that he drew.
Yeah, because that's the RZ2. That's the newer model.
Ages ago. Yeah. And the A-Wing is just so cool. It is so cool. So, how I tried to describe ships to someone who doesn't really know Star Wars is that ships are kind of like cars, and planets are kind of like different states. If we think about it as like
economically, that's represented as well pretty well economically too, because the cost of a ship is, as far as buying power, like purchasing power of like the imperial credit, is roughly the same to the US dollar. And so the way prices work out is it's usually about the same,
which makes so easy to understand. And I love that about Star Wars, is that it's one of the reasons why I hate Marvel, because logistics matter to me, and like there's just no logic in Marvel, and with logic comes the logistics of things. Like you see all these buildings and people and cars and buses and planes and all that shit just get demolished and destroyed and devastated. And it's like, where's that money coming from? Where's that money coming from? And how are we rebuilding it so quickly? But with like Star Wars, we just finished 2 seasons of Andor, where one of the more important subplots that kind of went under the radar was the Emperor's renewable energy campaign that was the mask for the Death Star. And do you think, here's my question, do you think that, we know that the Death Star 2 was built to be bigger. Do you think it was built inherently cheaper?
That's the thing that just outright confuses me about the Death Star 2 existing, is that they obviously must not have kept it a secret or something, because there's no way to explain in the same way why it took 19 years to build a fully functional Death Star, potentially even more, because obviously this was Palpatine's plan all along, and so this is the long-term plan. And so just from conceptualizing it, it's been over 2 decades at least, right? And it's like, sure, granted, once you've done it the first time, it gets easier, but it doesn't. We built it even bigger and different in 4 years, or at least mostly built in 4 years, functionally built in 4 years.
I think the thing that took so long was just the weapon.
Was trying to figure out the weapon, and maybe it
Yeah.
was. But there is also an amount of, well, you spent a lot of time trying to collect all of that kyber. All that kyber just got blown up. And now where are you going to go source more?
I'm guessing.
Because it seems like you had to absolutely scrape the bottom of the barrel trying to get every little bit, and you just lost all of it.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Where are you going now? There's a lot. There's like that, and you can say it's a plot hole.
I don't think it's a plot hole at all, because I think there are universe.
I don't think it is either. There's obviously probably some universe explanation.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, it's like, this is weird, but it's fine, because ultimately at the end of the day, this is not meant to be science fiction. It's meant to be space fantasy.
The plot hole that
it's
does
beautiful for
exist
it.
though is Starkiller Base. That's the plot hole for me. Because I always assumed that they just dug out a whole chunk of Ilum and sorted it, got all the everything else out, and then just held on to the kyber that was there. And I'm sure that they had like backwater planets where they just had warehouses full of kyber. Just like in the US, we have warehouses full of diamonds, full of everything, full of gold, full of literally everything. Out in the middle of like nowhere in Nebraska, places that we don't even know. I'm sure the Empire had plenty of holding planets. But the Starkiller Base never really made sense to me. It never really did. The weapon, the size of the goddamn thing, like...
How on earth it... Like, here's the thing about Starkiller that really doesn't make any sense to me, is how it was shooting Hosnian Prime light years away with a light weapon.
Like,
that doesn't make any sense, because the biggest problem, going back to like the hyperdrive conversation, is that like it got, I think it was somewhat, we just earlier on, like George Lucas and all the other writers earlier on, and all the people who were trying to like, okay, how does this work, right? Didn't think about the fact that they really needed to distinguish light speed and hyperspace.
Right.
Because they're two separate things. Light speed is going the speed of light, or near the speed of light, because you can't actually really go the speed of light. But hyperspace, in essence, is really supposed to just be, it's a system of wormholes that we've figured out how to get into, because if you were actually going light speed, you would never get from one planet to the other.
And I also heard in a physics class, when you enter the speed of light, you cannot exit the speed of light. Like, once you're in it, if you come out, you're still, like, you will only slow down against gravity, against forces, and those forces will hit you like a fly to a truck. And you will be...
Yeah, and then you also have like
compressed.
relativity coming in. Whereas
Right.
if you have a wormhole, wormholes still have some weird stuff with relativity, but they're a bit easier to deal with.
By the way, if I'm wrong about any of these physics comments, please let me know, because I love learning. But I'm certain I had a professor talking about if you enter the speed of light and then you exit the speed of light, whatever atmospheric pressures and all that stuff, they're still. And it's like a baseball hitting you. You're getting hit with that force. You are that baseball. And that body is the force, and that impact is you. You are going to be crushed. Like, but wormholes are a whole nother ball game.
Yes, but one of the really most interesting explanations I've ever heard of just some of the interesting problems with lightspeed travel was in a series. Was in a science fiction series. It's actually still actively being written. I believe it's meant to be a 12-part series. It's called the Star-Lord Legacy by Chuck Black. It's very good, very interesting. Lots of very cool stories being told. I believe he's on book 5 or 6 now. I've read all of them. They're a bit more juvenile science fiction, maybe older, like high school maybe But they're still very interesting because they do still have very good science fiction principles that they follow. That are very interesting. But one of them is that it talks about is how like when you travel in light speed, even from say Earth to the moon, you lose maybe, even though you maybe are getting there like that, you actually, in terms of relative time to the people on Earth, you've lost like 4 hours or something like that, right? And so even though you can blink, well, it's supposed to be 4 days each way. Now it's 4 hours each way, because even though you're blinking there, the time that passes for everyone else is 4 hours. So it's stuff like that that's really interesting. That ends up being like a super big plot point in terms of talking about traveling from one place to another.
The one thing that never made sense. Hello, Steve. We're just talking about ships in hyperspace right now, Steve. But the one thing that never really made sense to me, dude, Poe Dameron's light speed skipping to evade TIE fighters who were light speed skipping with him and landing in the same spot as him, and then skipping again, and they were there again. And it's like, hold on a quick second. We just established in the prior movie, the movie that we literally just finished, that the First Order could only track you through light speed from their capital ship. Yet these are just 2 or 3 rinky-dinky standard issue, as me and Steve have said many times today, standard issue TIE fighters who A, have a weaker hyperdrive than the Falcon does, but B, they're tracking it through light speed and exiting light speed at the right time. Obviously it's just terrible exposition, but
yeah.
Did anything like that ever piss you off as much as it pissed me off?
Yeah, obviously there is this very difficult, like, I guess, I don't know if dichotomy is the right word, of trying to tell a story that is accurate and true to the story that you are trying to tell, and then trying to tell a story that will sell at the box office and will have people and will be a visual spectacle, right? And so that scene is a visual spectacle, right? If you think about it, they're going to all these different places, they're jumping out of this, and they're weaving between this at this super high speed, and they're going to all these different iconically, like all these different, like completely separate, almost like different universes, right? And so in that term, it's a very, very cool scene. It's very like entertaining to watch at first glance. But then you go to the other side of it, right? The other side of that blade, and you're like, wait, this is stupid.
Right, because like when you zoom out,
this is frowned upon. Like, why? Because first of all, the second they got back, they're like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't really capable of that. But it's like, for some reason, these other pilots, who definitely are not Poe Dameron, let's be very clear with that.
Correct.
Are not as talented as Poe Dameron, are also like, oh, he wants lightspeed skip? What lightspeed skip? No.
Hey,
like,
on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
That.
And pull.
Yeah, like,
and go. And pull. Like, the comms had to have been so coordinated.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. They had to have been droids. Let's be real. But no, like, in the first Star Wars film, I mean, you talk about box office. We established that there is downtime in lightspeed. When they've put them into hyperspace, they all lean back, relax. It's going to be a few hours till we get to Alderaan or wherever. But like, we see Luke training with Ben. We see Han and Chewie joking around. It's like we established these rules. We established that hyperspace travel takes time. We even see this in the Phantom Menace. Hyperspace travel takes time. But it just felt like bastardized, and it felt like they didn't really have a good idea of oh yeah, this isn't just instant. My only idea was that they were just going to different moons in the same system.
Yeah.
But like you said, they're
That'd
like,
be my immediate
yeah,
way of trying to redeem that scene.
Right.
No, because I mean, we also, I mean, there have been times where like I think like maybe in books I've read, it's like, oh yeah, this is like it's like a day hyperspace flight, right? I think an easy way to just break down hyperspace outside of just it's wormholes, because like wormholes, like that's a like a quantum physics term, really. It's like that's like Einstein type stuff, right? To really break it down, right? For anyone who's played Minecraft and understands that one block travel to another is 8 blocks travel in the overworld, it's just that. It's really just this connection that is shorter. It is just a shorter path between 2 points where it just compacts it down. So it's like you have the whole galaxy is this whole big circle. Hyperspace is like this.
yep,
But it covers all of that, and it's like coning out, right? That's essentially what hyperspace is. It's just small thing, small distance in hyperspace, very large distance in real space.
right. Couldn't have put it better myself. Getting out of hyperspace and just going back to standard ship stuff. Is the opening of Revenge of the Sith your favorite 7.5 minutes of Star Wars stuff that you with like Star Wars stuff within the realm of ships?
The realm of ships. It's again, it is a visual spectacle, right? But it also is super interesting, right? Like that opening where you just like look down and you see big ship, and you see like blaster bolts just going everywhere. You see turbo laser fire just going everywhere, right? You see ships flying around, blowing up, right? We're weaving in between all these different ships and all this stuff. And it's super cool because you're seeing all these different types of fighters too. And it's super cool, and it's a super sick scene. But I think there was an amount of it where the scale just felt a bit too much, maybe, or that it felt. I think my biggest problem with that only is simply that every other time we've been shown space combat in the Clone Wars, it's never looked anything remotely like that.
Sure.
Maybe it's purely a scale thing.
My only like adage, I've been playing a lot of devil's advocate here, is that it was Coruscant. It was
that's where I defend it, is that it was they captured, like General Grievous went and kidnapped the Chancellor, right? This is a very significant battle on the Republic homeworld, or on the Republic like capital world, right?
Yep.
So there is that, but every other time it was presented, it was more so we had blockade around planet, and then we had other people going to attack the blockade, maybe from different angles, maybe there's like some slight, but okay, I guess what I'm saying is that in terms of Star Destroyer and cruiser placement, that was very two-dimensional, whereas this is three-dimensional, which made it super, super like intriguing. So maybe not my problem with it. It's just that they expanded it to actually that third dimension, right, where you also have vertical differences as well, which made it far more interesting.
God, and then we can't even
in the visual.
Can't even fathom I would have hated to have been the animator for the Rise of Skywalker. Just when boom, 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 boom,
Oh, yeah.
all those ships show up out of nowhere. There are more of us, Poe. There are more of us. That would have just blew so much ass, especially all the copying and pasting in the back.
I don't even want to think about that scene, because there were so many things in that whole movie that were just like, why? Like, why another Sith homeworld? We already have like 2 or 3 or 4 of those, and now we apparently have Exegol too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Why? No, but I'd say my favorite really is probably the Battle of Endor, because even though it's broken up, unlike the Battle of Coruscant where it's just this one sequence, the Battle of Endor, I think, is just, it kind of falls more into that a bit more two-dimensional look, but it has a lot of very fun little details. And also like just the way that ends up going, like the primary crazy thing that actually results in them being able to actually win the Battle of Endor is this random A-Wing pilot Arvel Krynid crashing into one of the shield generators on the Executor,
Yep.
which caused them to be able to take it down, which causes it to crash into the Death Star.
Well, yeah, which is
a testament to how big the Death Star was, because it was generating its own gravity.
Right. Yeah, because
Significant enough to pull that thing down. Like, point it down.
People forget Super Star Destroyers are 11 miles long. They're fucking massive. They're huge. And that was like my pen falling on my shoulder in terms of the scale of how big, albeit unfinished, but how big DS2 was.
For
Massive.
me, right? If we imagine this is the length, if we imagine my phone is the length of the Super Star Destroyer,
Yep.
I could maybe, as a decently like in shape athletic person, run from here to here, maybe here, without stopping. And I'd be gassed. I need to lie down for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Like, that is the scale of these things, and that is like super. And that is like, again, that's the thing that always comes in science fiction or space fantasy, is that it's like, it's the economy of how on earth are we constructing these things? Where's this money coming from? Where are all these people to crew this thing coming from?
Right.
Because I was thinking today, like, hey, I want to do this thing where I want to like have a minimally crewed Venator. But when you go to Wikipedia, the recommended crew for a Venator is like 7,500 plus troopers.
Right.
So that's just crew. None of your soldiers, none of your pilots, just your mechanics, your systems people. That's 7,500 people.
Yep. At minimum wage, $7.50 in the Republic era.
Minimum wage. These are child soldier clothes. They don't get paid.
Dude, it's tough, but no, like you said, man, it's almost a half marathon to go from point A to point B. They had bullet trains on Super Star Destroyers to take you from point A to point B. They had so
had
many.
Malevolence. And Malevolence was nowhere near that big.
Right. And they had elevators, all kinds of shit, man. It's just nuts to think about. So before we get into our closing segment, Steve, a question from earlier. What was in your Steve lore, what was your initial favorite ship in Star Wars? Or just your favorite ship right now? All time.
I could actually show you.
Down for that.
Because I have do you know what an MOC is in Lego terms?
MOC in Lego terms. Is that made of something?
No, it's called My Own Creation. It's basically something that...
Oh, okay.
I had no clue that was I had no clue that was an acronym this whole time, and I've been a major Lego fan for years.
I respect that.
And I have MOCs of my two favorite Star Wars ships, one from the Rebellion and one from the Empire.
Okay.
The X-Wing and the TIE Interceptor.
Oh, there we go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So if you were given the keys, if both sets of keys were given in your hands, one of each hand, but you can only have one of them, which one are you flying home tonight?
Yeah, for the Interceptor.
The Interceptor?
I have a soft spot for the TIE designs.
Yeah, we talked at nauseum about the Defender today.
As you should.
And just how great that ship was. But I'm glad that you're here because it makes this next segment a lot easier. I'm totally unprepared for this.
Great, that means I'm even more totally unprepared.
We're going to do a draft. And we're going to build a fleet. Literally, like, synergy does not matter, but bonus points if you do, right?
Okay.
You need to... We're going to do 5 rounds. In one of those rounds, you have to pick your capital ship of choice. And when you pick your capital ship, tell me who's in charge of it.
Okay.
Now, how would we like to establish the draft order? Because personally, I don't care. Do any of you really want the first pick?
I don't want to be involved at all because I'm locked into my GAC right now.
Oh, you're good. It'll just be me and Evan then, 1-on-1 against the Great One. I'll let you be the first pick.
Okay, yay! I get to be the one who says this is the absolute best. So is first round capital ship, or it just has to come in at some point?
We'll just do first round.
Okay. So I guess my other question is you said we have to say who's commanding it. Does it have to be someone who canonically would have commanded that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you couldn't say, you couldn't say the
Obi-Wan and in Supremacy.
Right, or you couldn't say Carth Onassi with Venator, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me Anakin and a Venator.
Anakin and a Venator. Hell yeah.
Because sure, he might throw your Venator away. Like you might just send it at the enemy, like just empty, but it's gonna be for a purpose and it's gonna win you something. But Anakin was always like had super interesting battle tactics, and I think, and because of that, like as far as like mainline characters, that's a pretty good one to say. Yeah, I'd like him as my fleet leader.
Yeah, that works. Cool. Took my pick. I was thinking that you were gonna go somewhere else, and I guess I'll have to take.
You were thinking I was gonna go Thrawn Star Destroyer.
I thought you were gonna go with someone else beyond Thrawn, but I will take Thrawn. And man, I kind of want to throw him in a Super Star Destroyer, but as we established, they had to have canonically flown that sumbitch. So we're gonna.
I would give you Interdictor if you wanted Interdictor.
I want the big dog. I want the one.
Okay, I was just saying that I would like allow you to have that, since he technically commanded a fleet that had one, since he was over like a very large fleet. Anything that's technically within that fleet,
okay,
you're allowed to have.
Sure, give me Thrawn in a Super Star Destroyer.
What?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't in a super. His fleet did not include Super Star Destroyer. He never was in command of one.
No, I'm kidding. Give me the Chimera. We'll take it.
The ISD Chimera.
And since we're doing the snake draft order, with my next pick, I'll just make it really nice and quick. I would like the TIE Defender.
Okay, fair enough.
Elite variant.
Well, of course. I mean, why not, right?
Mm-hmm. So you have two picks in a row. You have 2 picks in a row, just to clarify.
So I think the way I want to approach this is I kind of want to have each role kind of set up. So I want to have my dogfighting fighter.
Of course.
I want to have I guess maybe I want to have like a swarm craft. So I want to have like my stronger fighter for my experienced pilots. I want to have a more like swarm craft that'll also be good for like guarding things. Then I want to have a heavy bomber. And then that 4th slot is one where I think I can get a bit creative, but maybe have something more like a gunner type ship. So maybe something
I forgot.
more like
Sorry.
A-Wing.
I forgot. Flying the TIE Defender Elite is someone who was first of their class in the Imperial Navy.
We're specifying this too. Okay.
And actually flew the TIE Defender on multiple occasions. Give me Sabine Wren, the baddie.
Oh, okay.
I want Sabine Wren as my Defender Elite pilot.
Okay.
Trevor has a soft spot for Mandalorian women, if you can't tell.
Listen. It also helps that she's a baddie, Steve. Shout out to her.
Yeah, for real. I think for my first pick, let's go with trying to find what it's called. Remember what the actual class is. Is it this? No, that's the bigger one. All right. You know what? We'll just start with our bomber. Give me the BTLB Y-wing, so the Republic era one.
Okay.
As our heavy bomber.
So you just have a clone on it?
Yeah, we'll just say 2 skilled clone pilots, preferably squadron leads. You know, your oddball, maybe like what was it? Shadow Squad? What was it? Was it Shadow Squadron?
I think Blaze Squadron, right, Steve? Who were those? Was it CT-800A Boobies and CT-4004 Hook? Those your pilots?
I'm trying to remember what the actual model is here because these are really, really great starfighters.
While you look it up,
remember.
While you look it up, I'll rant about Dave Filoni for a second and why he sucks. Right. Dave Filoni, you suck because you created so many great episodes of Clone Wars where you'd get us invested in this random fucking clone for 15 minutes. You'd have us fall in love with him only for him to die in such a tragic, heroic way to save the rest of his brothers and the Jedi General that was leading him. And so many times those were involved in space battles. And that's why you suck. You don't actually suck, but just so many times, man. So many clones. Must have sucked to be a Jedi, honestly. Like, being a Jedi had to have sucked because the clones were great. Like, if I was a Jedi, shoot, I'd get him on a comm link as soon as I finished something really cool, and I'd let him know. And I'd ask him to bring the boys, you know? God.
Okay, I forgot what it was. I finally remember what it was called. Mandalorian Fang Fighters as my next pick.
Okay. Nice.
Fast,
very
super
fast.
maneuverable,
yeah.
class 2 hyperdrive. Really interesting, like interesting ability to be able to spin around on the way that they can. That provides some pretty destructive firing capabilities, honestly, as well as some very good agility capabilities as well. They're not shielded, but they do make up for that in all those other aspects, as well as the fact that, again, like I discussed earlier, sometimes the upgrading of a fighter is just making it better and putting a better pilot in it, and shields aren't necessary at that point.
Right. Because
when you have a good enough pilot and a good enough ship, they're not going to get hit anyways. They also do, of course, have the option for ordnance. So I'd say that is like my primary, like, head-to-head 1-versus-1 dogfighting fighter. So it'll be your pick. So I got the BTLB and the Fang Fighter, of course piloted by a skilled Mandalorian pilot.
Right. So of course, just to recap so far, I've got Thrawn with the Chimera, and flying under Thrawn, we've got Sabine Wren and the TIE Defender Elite. Flanking her, we're gonna stick with the TIE theme. TIE Till I Die theme. Just want to make sure I'm getting the name right here. Okay, cool. We are going with the TIE Silencer. The TIE VN Space Superiority Fighter, flown by one Kylo Ren.
Okay.
I think it's, yeah, the TIE freaking Superiority TIE freaking Silencer. That's a great pick right there. And he's going to be just going crazy, because next to him in the TIE in the TIE Advanced, I want Darth Vader flying.
So the X1.
Yeah, I
so
do.
The TIE Advanced X1.
I do. I want Kylo Ren and Darth Vader flying and keeping score.
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing is you really, really want to play X-Wing miniatures.
I'd love to.
You're just build a stacked squad. Hey, get on Tabletop Sim. I can show you how to play. You will love it.
Sure. Sure.
But for my next pick, so like I said, I need a Swarm Fighter, and I need something else, like a util pick.
Yeah, let's do 2 more picks so we have a starting 5.
Yeah.
We'll do 2 more picks each.
You have 1 more pick left.
I just did my 2.
Yeah, so you have 1 more pick left because it's a capital ship plus 4, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna do 2 more picks total. So 6 total. 5 ships, 1 capital ship.
Okay, so then I have 3 picks left. I'm about to do 2 back to back. You're gonna do your 2, and then I'm gonna do another one.
Yep.
To finish it off. Okay. So then my next pick, because I want to get this one out of the way, because I think this is maybe one of the absolute best picks of the draft. Because forget it having good shields, forget it having skilled pilots, because it doesn't matter how good of shields, how skilled of pilots you have, if nothing they have, not their eyes, not their computers, will ever see their enemy coming. And that is why I'm going with the Sinar Fleet Systems TIE PH Phantom.
You asshole, that was gonna be my next pick.
Which is the TIE Phantom multi-role stealth starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
It can run in, it can cloak down, and then it can go and make a firing run on your capital ship. It can sneak up behind your enemy's ace and just drop him dead. Sure, is it like a kind of complex ship, and is it super expensive? Yeah. But again, do you know what offsets costs? Not having to build as many, because they're just that good.
Yep.
So that is definitely my next pick. And then you know what? Following on with having a TIE, here's the thing. Part of the reason why I really, really liked the BTLB is because it has that dedicated turret seat and an astromech slot.
Sure.
Right? That is very good utility-wise. Great bomber. But sometimes, especially since now we're expanding to 6, I'm like, you know what? Let's have that can be our fighter bomber, right? Because it's still relatively maneuverable.
Mm-hmm.
That can dogfight a little bit, right? And it can fight off all that stuff. But let's just have a straight up bomber, right? This is what you have escorts for. This you have your swarm fighters for. And so that I'm gonna go with maybe one of the most devastating bombers to ever grace the Galactic Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
The TIE CA Punisher. It's a TIE bomber, but instead of just you having your pilot pod and your bomb pod, now you have your pilot pod and then bomb pod, bomb pod, bomb pod, bomb pod.
Mm-hmm.
4x the bombs, 4x the damage. And all you gotta do is just get it to the target. It's like having a B-17 in World War II, or like a B-52.
Mm-hmm.
Except it can actually kind of hold its own by itself. But then you put it with other stuff, boom. Bye-bye to the Chimera, because it is not going to be able to take a full load of Punisher bombs. So I'll let you figure out how you want to counter that.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Unlike in the past where when we've been on my podcast and you've had a bit more deeper knowledge, I think I might have a slight edge on you in this one because of X-Wing.
Sure.
We'll throw my miniatures to right now to get ideas. Is that cheating? Maybe, but we didn't predetermine that, so.
Man. See, I was gonna go in a completely different direction, but now I have to play the counter game here. I've got 2 picks to do it as well, so.
Yep.
Man. I'm gonna have to pull some punches here. I'm gonna have to pull some punches here, and I'm gonna have to use some plot armor to do some
Plot armor.
I'm gonna have to use some plot armor to use.
No, we're treating this like it's Galaxy of Heroes. We're just sending them at each other.
Sure. That, I think that serves me better. Because I want to say that this ship is it's nicknamed the Devastator for a reason. You see it coming, you're done for. I'm gonna take piloted by Jango Fett. I would like the Slave 1 because I need some counters here badly, and
being invisible does not stop you from just getting absolutely hit by a seismic charge.
Exactly. So that's my big counter. Plus Jango Fett's got aura. None of your characters flying so far have aura. I have to point that out. Even the clones of Jango Fett don't necessarily have his aura. So we've established so far that we have Sabine Wren flying the TIE Defender Elite. We've established that we have Kylo Ren flying the TIE Silencer / Whisper. I haven't decided which one. TIE Advanced X1 by his grandfather Darth Vader. Jango Fett with his Fire Spray, or Slave 1. Last but not least, flying the Sun Dragon alongside his best friend Ben Solo. Give me Nathan Kaiso flying the Sun Dragon, the modified RZ-A1T, the RZ-1T A-Wing, and he's gonna rain on your parade, pal. He's gonna rain on your parade. You better be ready for Nathan Kaiso.
Okay, so that's all well and good, but see, now I get 2 more picks, and like I said, I still need a swarm fighter for this fleet. That's what's really missing.
Hey
but
man, I've got 2 dogfighters, I got 2
when
interceptors and a bomber. Like, I'm set.
Anything you want. Your swarm fighter, when you're not bound by cost, your swarm fighter can be whatever you want, right? You can treat whatever you want as a swarm fighter, right? And so, for that reason, because here's the thing, your lesser pilots, you got to protect them a little bit better, give them better armor, better shields, maybe 4 cannons, with an astromech slot,
Sure.
Collapsible S foils. That's why I gotta take the iconic X-wing, right? Maybe the most iconic ship in all
not
of
the
Star-
Mickey Mouse T65. You're taking the Mickey Mouse T65?
No, I would never take the T65. That's just the iconic one, right? But the X-wing itself, you think everyone knows the X-wing, right? No, what you really want is, hang on, let me see. How far did we get in the T-series? How far did we get in the X-wing? Because we definitely got a good ways past 65, because the 65 was old even when it was getting used by the Rebellion. There were a lot more models made, because of course we know that because even by the time of the Resistance, the T-70 was actually, I believe, already aged fairly well. Yeah, so we do have, so I was right. Okay, the T-85 does exist. So let's go with the T-85 X-Wing.
Wow, you're just taking the new shiny JIT.
Yeah, it's the new shiny New Republic one.
Man.
I mean, if you look at this thing, it's freaking beautiful, okay? It's just the X-Wing, but like a Lamborghini, Like, they just made it all nice.
Lamborghini
right?
exterior. It's got like the Honda Civic interior.
Well, yeah. It's your storm fighter now. Yeah, here, let me share my screen so you can see this. This absolute beauty.
Oh, I see it. It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous fighter. So we'll take that as our swarm fighter.
So you're taking
you're taking
the Sunday stroller as a swarm fighter. Going on
Hey,
a nice
it's-
cruise.
It's got shields, and I'm gonna take it piloted by maybe a sleeper pick. And you know what? You could say this guy is cringe. You know,
I don't think Poe
baby,
Dameron. I don't think Poe
no
Dameron's cringe at
aura.
all.
But you know what? When it comes to a race, the kid's got the chops. Give me Kazuda Ziono as my pilot for the T-85.
Who the hell is that?
Did we not watch the worst Star Wars animated show to ever exist, Star Wars Resistance?
No, I did not watch Star Wars Resistance.
That's the main character from Star Wars Resistance.
Oh hell yeah, that's sick. He's a nepo baby.
Yeah, his dad's like a senator.
A lot.
No, so actually, better yet, the senator. So in, did you watch? So in Ahsoka, right?
Mm-hmm.
The senator who's like being a real big piss baby.
Yep.
About hair going out with the longer hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's his dad.
That's his dad. Wow.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I looked that up because I was like, wait a second, I think that's Senator Ziono. But yeah, so that's his dad. So he's
Sick.
like, and so he's a New Republic pilot, and he's flying a T-85 at the start of the show. But yeah, he's just basically one big nepo baby.
Man, if I could have a sixth man, it would be Poe Dameron and his T-70. Solid picks.
Black one.
Black and orange, dude. Oh my god.
Hey, I'll give him that. That is maybe the sickest X-wing that's ever existed. As like
Right.
a main character ship. I believe that was my first of the 2 picks, right?
Yeah, you.
Right, because I went
I think that's it.
because I went lead off. Then I went
Yeah, you should have only had one to wrap around.
Y-wing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, what did I go after Y-wing? I went Fang. And then I went Phantom Punisher.
And then the X-wing. That should be it.
Yeah, X-wing. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, just like in the baseball draft, I think my starting lineup is head and shoulders above this guy's, and he's got we're on his home turf. So, but let us know.
I don't know about that.
Hey, I got the pilots. You got the equipment. I got the. You give me the flesh, I'll give you the metal. I think that's it. You got the metal, I got the flesh. We got Sabine Wren and the TIE Defender Elite, Kylo Ren and the TIE Silencer, Darth Vader and the TIE Advanced X1, Jango Fett and the Slave One, and of course, bringing it home in the Interceptor slot, we got Nathan Kaiso flying the Sun Dragon, the RZ-1T A-Wing Modified. Wara.
Fire. I mean, if you want, I can go. I mean, they're going to be lesser known, but I can go and pull out all the names of the top aces that flew each of those.
No, we will auto assign them for you. But we got the we got the Force on our side. We got 3.5 Force users and Thrawn. Because Sabine Wren, she's getting there. She's getting there. But
I have the crazier, less emotionally stable version of one of your Force users, but instead he's in charge of my whole fleet.
you have the horny version.
Which, for some reason, and in hindsight, can I change my cruiser pick?
No, too late, pal.
Why did I not pick Malevolence?
I don't know.
That's just like Thanos snapping. I just win. Why did I not pick that?
I would
don't
have
have
loved
to send out my fighters. I pick Malevolence. I don't have to pick 5 more fighters. I pick Malevolence. I win.
Right. You have unlimited fighters, as long as you use an ability. I would have loved to have seen Admiral Trench against.
Don't talk about stunning everything. I just blow everything up with an EMP.
Oh, I know.
Stop swiggling all over it.
I would have loved to have seen Admiral Trench go up against Thrawn. That would have been very interesting.
That would have been fire.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting.
Until Thrawn would have seemed like, oh, but the culture of the planet, and he has this painted on his ship like this. Oh, I'm gonna beat him because I'm Thrawn.
Well, since we have a neutral party, Steve, who do you think wins this duel?
Honestly, I haven't been paying attention.
Trying
to do this ChatGPT shit.
That's so fair.
Let's let the listeners vote. Just put up a poll. Let the listeners vote.
We'll put up a poll.
Who won?
We'll put up a poll. Thrawn versus Annie Bobanny.
Anakin.
I mean, I think head and shoulder, like, who's taking down the TIE Silencer? Who's taking down the TIE Advanced X1? You don't have Han Solo.
The TIE Phantom?
You don't have Han Solo to bump off Darth Vader.
How well shielded is Darth Vader? Sure, he might have, like, I guess you could argue, oh, but he has the Force.
He's the TIE Advanced has got some
like,
solid shields on it. They're solid. But you said who's gonna sense the TIE Phantom? We got 3.5 Force users, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, and they'll be tied up trying to figure out what on earth Anakin is doing right now. Because Anakin will be doing just some, like, insane, like, demented move that works for some odd reason.
Yeah, Thrawn will be sitting there like, why did Anakin just lay down a bunt to move a guy to second, and now they have 2 outs? Like,
exactly. And he's gonna be like, why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
And Thrawn's just gonna be churning on in circles trying to understand what on earth the stupid genius of Anakin's actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Finn Rao's just be going in, cleaning house of all of your non-Force users.
Like, oh yeah, of course I hit
weaker ones.
Of course I hit breaking ball righties, like, and I'm on deck. That's why. Put a guy in scoring position. Let's go. Hell yeah, man.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, hey, we let the people decide. But also, you can also say that, but like, also, hey, if I can just get that bomb, I'm going to be successful. If I can get that Punisher to Thrawn,
it ain't happening.
Thrawn ain't doing anything anymore.
We have 2, dude. I went for balance. I have 2 interceptors. I have 2 fighters and a bomber myself. Like, I went for balance. I went for overall balance.
I have a bomber, a fighter bomber, a stealth multi-role. So let's see. I have a B-52.
Yep.
I have
the BTLB.
An F-22. I have. Let's see. I have. Well, yeah, sure. We'll call the Y-wing an A-10.
Mm-hmm.
I have. Let's see. What else do I have? I have the iconic. I have an F-16 in the X-wing. What was my last pick? It was the.
You picked the X-wing
Not the last pick. But what was my second pick? I said Y-wing, and then what did I say after? Right, and the Fang Fighter.
Yep.
Fang Fighter is just quick. That's like, I don't know, like an F-15. We'll call it an F-15.
Yeah,
right.
You're cooked.
I've got. No, I'm not cooked.
You're cooked.
Cause like,
You have way too much bulk, not enough maneuverability. That's where I got you on the ropes.
The Fang Fighters. That's what the Fang Fighter is for. The Fang Fighter is pure maneuverability. You want all maneuverability.
And that's what I got Nathan Kaiso for, baby, at the helm of the A-wing, modified A-wing, mind you.
You're gonna break your starfighters because they're gonna have to slow down to try and in any way engage with the TIE Punisher because they can come up behind it and they're gonna fire one shot off and they're gonna be freaking a mile past it.
We're not even worried about them. We're gonna ice them out of the game. We're going to ice them out of the game. We're not going to throw to them. We're just going to put them on. So we're just going to put them on. We'll face the guy after him. He's a ground ball hitter.
Yeah.
I think it's a well-balanced matchup. Pretty well-balanced, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know, I want to hit you with one final question.
Yeah, of course.
Just shake it up. So, I know you didn't watch Resistance,
No.
apparently. But one of the big premises in Resistance is the big thing about, I believe it's Colossus station, is fighter racing. And I think that was a super cool concept that I think they should have leaned more into. And I would have watched an entire show or just like mini series about fighter racing because it was such an intriguing in-universe thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for that reason, but the way a lot of those work is it's not like they're most of them aren't scratch built. They are built from the skeletons of other fighters. So, I like to ask, if you're trying to build the absolute best possible fighter, something that you think you will like for its maneuverability, its speed, its base kind of skeleton, the bones that it has, right? Maybe some sensors it has by default, right? What fighter are you looking at from any era that you would be like, I'm gonna go out and get myself one of those. I'm gonna mod that.
And just the skeleton I'm getting, just the frame of it.
You can use whatever amount that you want, right? But it's just like, this is your starting point. What would you use as your starting point?
For racing purposes,
Yes.
I would want the V-Wing.
Okay.
I want the V-Wing. Pure racing purposes. Aerodynamics. It's so maneuverable. So quick. But also very, very modular. And it's a classic as well, you know? It's a classic.
For me, I think mine also is pretty good.
I was leaning Avenger, by the way. I was leaning the Avenger. I just love it. I love the look.
It is a very cool fighter.
Yeah.
For me, there is, of course, some very good grounded basis for using this, because someone in Legends did actually very heavily modify one of these. And I think that, first of all, it has an iconic look. It's well known. It's quick. It's light. And I think that because of the way it's shaped, it's very, very apt to being modified and set up a racer. So give me a Delta 7B Aether Sprite. So the Clone Wars variant that had the centered astromech slot.
That's
a little bit heavier.
Very heavy, but good pick.
It's the heavier version, but the reason why I picked that version is specifically because of how things are placed on it and how I personally want to modify it. And so the centered astromech slot aligns more with how I want to modify it.
Those are such nice ships, dude. The Delta 7s, they're so nice.
Yeah. Hey, you see, so you know what the basis I'm talking about is for it being modified? Anakin's like old OG Clone Wars version.
Yep.
The old cartoon one.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of where I'm talking. We've seen it done. It's been done.
Yeah.
But the way I want to do it is a bit more eccentric and a bit more removed from the original appearance. But
sure, and if you're just going for speed and racing, you don't need all the extra shit that you've got on there too. Especially if it's modular. I don't think the Deltas were as modular, but super.
Hey, everything's modular. It's called a drill.
True. That'd be sick though. But yeah, I just think anything compact and anything with that freaking fuselage that's just breaking through the air would be so sick.
I mean, dude, the Delta 7 Aether Sprite is literally just an arrowhead.
Right.
It's the definition of aerodynamic, and so like
in atmosphere, I think you're just gonna, not to mention, it's small. Like in comparison to things to be racing against, it's tiny.
Plus, you get rid of that astromech dome, cutting off more drag. Going quick.
Well, you don't get rid of it. You just conceal it.
Yeah.
Under more aerodynamic stuff.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Bit of a different podcast this week, guys, but I hope you guys did enjoy. This is Bolt23. It's Sotico and Professor Egzer in the background chilling, but it's been the Archives Podcast, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out.